Guys, what's up? It is Doug, and welcome to another edition of Spooky Villages. Today we are going to talk about the Fright Night Cinema. This is an awesome piece and one of the best of the year. Before I do, though, just real quick here, last week in the video on the Smoke and Mirrors Magic Shop, just my apologies. I actually missed in the video talking about a couple of the elements for it. A little behind the scenes, I had a short time to film that actually. And normally I have notes off to the side. Even for these short videos, I will forget things if I don't have my notes. So I did that without notes. Lo and behold, as soon as I do it without notes, I forget to talk about a couple things. And if you read the comments, though, many folks pointed out what I missed. My apologies for that. That's what happens when you don't go through your normal workflow, right? At least that's what it is with me in a lot of facets of life. When I don't go through my normal checklist and skip steps, that's what happens. So my apologies. So here's the Fright Night Cinema, guys. Check this out. Go around here. This one has foam in it as far as inside the packing, so not going to talk about that. It's kind of the old foam as normal. But this is a Michaels exclusive for 2024. It's going to be available at dealers, starting next year. So before we talk about this piece here, let's talk about some of the theaters that have come in the past in Halloween Village, the Lions. The Lugosi Theater by Department 56. This one is spectacular. It's long retired, and these are photos from a lost review. I actually wrote this year on Patreon, I did a review of it, a written one. And, I had pictures of this and meant to do this review years ago. And I actually sold this piece years ago when I was buying and selling a whole bunch of pieces. This is from around whenever I started Spooky Villages. And I'd meant to do a video on this. I shot a bunch of pictures and wound up somehow never doing the video. But the Lugosi Theater is amazing. That marquee outside is, super cool. And the theater here this year, the Fright Night, it reminds me of that. This is the Mortis Theater from Lemax Spooky Town. I've actually never got to see this piece in person. I might have seen it in some other displays, but I've never had my hands on it at least. But this is a very desirable collector's piece. It's been long retired as well. And both this and Lugosi, they're killer pieces. And they're both theaters, so I think that's a good segue into this one. This is very much in that classic Lemax Spooky Town style. This could have came out years ago. I don't think there'd be any confusion on it. I'll show you what it looks like lit up here because it does look spectacular lit up. There's no sound on this, by the way, and the light, there's no animation either, although it's got some active lighting on it. It's not just static, but I love all the references around here. So you have the blob here coming out of the theater, which is an obvious reference to the blob. The big marquee here, and then you have this internal scene, which is really neat with these ghosts up here. And I guess it's actually the theater that's it. You can see the theater through the window there with curtains, and you have like monsters that are in there. Really well done. I love the facade out here because it looks like a classic theater. And of course, the the sign that's up here, like the marquee. There are different little references here to different things, kind of spoofing other movies, these movie posters that are around it. I love that. Super cute. Let's show you what it looks like lit up though here. Now we can properly talk about it. Look how that marquee light lights up. I love the front also, where it just very brightly says Fright Night Cinema. And the whole, the marquee out there, how it looks like it's got those letters that are like put on those tracks, like the plastic letters, whatever they are, so they don't look even. So when it says now playing Lord of the Things, which is also funny, the special midnight showing, the letters are not all correct. I guess it's obviously not digital. It's it's an old style marquee, or not marquee, I guess, whatever you want to call it, the sign outside of a theater where they change like what's playing. I love how that gives it that vintage vibe. So the blob has a pulse light on it, but you can see here as I'm talking and we go around, you can actually see on the side there's some very faint pulse lighting that happens on the sides of this building, too. So it adds more light to it. It's like an understated piece, but it's kind of weird because it's understated, like I just said, but that marquee is so, it's so out there, and it draws so much attention to it that it's hard to kind of call it understated just because of that. It just looks so cool and so like vintage theater. I love the vibe. It is so well themed. Some of the buildings I've talked about this year, even ones that I've really liked, have kind of been, maybe not a mismatch of themes, but just a lot of stuff thrown at it. This is a very focused piece, and it does keep up, as I mentioned earlier here with a lot of these Lemax Spooky Town pieces, they are doing this thing where there's like a big central scene, and you do have the actual theater inside, and I love how you can see, the ghosts that are up there, but also the whole scene on the back with the theater and the monsters that are out there. I love how there's like a tentacle monster. You can see what looks like a creature from the Black Lagoon, and coming out of the building, you have a wolf man, werewolf. You have a vampire. There's a ghost on the top of it there. The Cinescare sign, which is cool. Of course, I mentioned the Blob, which is a reference to that movie. When that actually happens in the movie, the Blob comes out of the theater. I just think it's so well done. And even on the side of the building, you have pumpkins. That's something I'm going to just talk about more and notice, because I do like when these buildings all have pumpkins, even if the pumpkins really don't make sense to the actual building. These are all Halloween themed, right? So a lot of times in our displays, we're going to have pumpkins all around them, in some of the accessories. So it's nice when they have pumpkins, just because it adds to the Halloween flavor, I think. So bringing it back to the Lugosi Theater and the Mortis Theater, with the addition of this, which is just a phenomenal building. I mean, this looks so, so awesome. And seeing people talk about it and be enthused about it online is fun to see, because it is really just, it's well themed. It's not a huge building either, which is kind of nice, because a lot of times the big, the showstopper pieces are really big ones that take up a lot of floor space. This one does not. You can theme it with a bunch of things. It is like more like actual monster themed, obviously the Blob coming out. But I still think, because it does look like an old style theater, you could put it in a town theater, right? And use your imagination. These are just decorations or people in costume. I don't think it would look totally out of place there. It's not like some of the monster style buildings where they would look kind of crazy if you put them in a normal like neighborhood or town scene. This one would work for it. And of course, you could also put it in the monster type theme, because that's really what it is more so. If you have like the monster town motif that you go for, it would work at an amusement park too, or carnival, whatever you want to say, because again, like a theater there. It'd be like, when you go to an amusement park and they do have the place where they have like their, either if they're not showing just regular like, movies, that they have like their 3D movie, or 4D, I guess it is now. You know what I'm talking about. So it's kind of a Swiss Army knife piece that you can use in a bunch of themes too. And going back though to that Lugosi and Mortis Theater discussion, it really is a worthy successor. And it's kind of crazy that we have, as far as I know, unless I'm missing something, and hey, I could be missing something, I think these are the 3 theaters that exist in the Department 56 and Lemax lines. And it's kind of amazing how all 3 of them are absolute top tier. So if you like the theater theme, you like movies, and that's your vibe, the buildings, like all 3 of them are Hall of Fame buildings, because this is a Hall of Fame building. I mean, straight up, this is an incredible building. It is so well themed. Lemax did a wonderful job with this, and it's nice to have the outlandish buildings. Those are a lot of fun, but it's also fun when they rein it in more and they really theme something well. This piece again would be very home, with the classic Lemax Spooky Town line. This could have come out years ago. And one thing to note on this here, it actually doesn't come with a power supply. Just don't want to forget that. You put the batteries in under here, or you can just plug it in the back with an adapter if you have like a multi-adapter from Lemax. So that's the Fright Night Cinema, guys. I mean, it's a spectacular piece. Understated, but in a good way. This is one that it'll be collectible later. Now it's a Michaels exclusive this year, so it's going to be at dealers next year. So there'll probably be a good amount of them out there. So I don't know about a scarcity of them. And there's nothing really mechanical on them to go wrong. So I'd imagine the ones that are out there are going to pretty much stay working. So I don't know how hard this will be to get, but I think it's fantastic. And it's just it goes along with those other theaters, just really spectacular. And it's funny with a niche kind of a theme. Not that a theater's niche, but you know what I mean. There's 3 theaters in the line that they've done so far in both, across both companies, and all 3 of them are top tier. I'm trying to think here. I don't know of any other theme that has so few buildings, but the ones that are there are just all fantastic. So if you think of that, let me know here. As I'm on camera, I tend to forget things. Of course, as soon as I get done with this, I'll probably remember that. If I do, I'll put it in the comments. So anyways, guys, that's Fright Night Cinema. Let me know what you think below. No tease for next week because I don't know what I'm doing yet. I'm actually, I'm going back to my Michaels to pick up some stuff. So I'm not sure what I'm going to be having for next time. So apologies for no tease, but there'll be something coming up here soon. So thank you as always to my, my Patreon subscribers and supporters. Thank you to you all. I saw the other day that I'm about to hit 11,000 subscribers, which is crazy. Just really, really appreciate it. Nothing but love to you guys. So thank you so much. The video is going to end here because there's no soundtrack to go with this, no animation. So I'm not going to be doing that at the end of this. So I'll see you guys very soon. Thank you so much for watching.